Good morning, everyone. I tell a story that in the winter, the porcupines were really cold. So they decided they would huddle together to give each other some body warmth, heat. When they got so close to each other, they started to prick each other with their sharp spines and their quills. So they went off to the distance because they were getting injured by one another, and then they all froze to death. And the moral of the story, obviously, is that in life there's a balance. On the one hand, we have to be close to each other. We have to create warmth and heat. When we go off in our own corners, so to speak, we're cold. We freeze in life. We need family, we need community, we need friendship. But like the porcupines, they had to learn how to get close, but not too close. Not so close that they prick one another. And the obvious idea is that in life sometimes there's a balance where on the one hand, you want to have close relationships with people, but on the other hand, you don't want to be overbearing. You don't want to be intrusive. You want to respect another person's space. Being close doesn't mean that you're dominant or controlling of the person. It means that you allow that person to realize their own dreams and their own aspirations. They have their own individuality, but at the same time, while you respect their boundaries, you're still close, warm, loving, and kind and caring. In this week's parsha, we come to the most beautiful story, the reconciliation of Joseph and the brothers. And fascinatingly, what's the name of this portion? And how does the whole story begin? Vayigash elav Yehuda. Yehuda draws close to his brother Joseph, not knowing that it's Joseph. He thinks it's the viceroy of Egypt. But the key word, the verb is, he drew close. And what the Torah is telling us and intimating is that this is going to be the reconciliation, the reunification of the family. The closeness from the estrangement is now going to come about. The end of the distance and the estrangement and the coming together of Jacob and his children, and the whole family is going to live together for the next 17 years. But what's most amazing is if you go back to how the whole story began, Joseph's coming with his coat of many colors. His father Jacob sent him out to look for his brothers. And what does it say? Vayiru oso merachok. There the key verb is they saw him from a distance. And they plotted to kill him, and they threw him in the pit, and one thing after another until he was sold into slavery. You see the contrast? The tragedy began when they saw him from a distance. The reconciliation and the healing began when Judah steps forward. When we stay our distance from people, that's when there's hatred. That's when there's fear of the other, of the unknown. We get close to people, we get to know them. We realize we're all the same, and we stop hating them. We stop feeling animosity towards them. With all the hate going on in the world today, this is such an important message. People have to learn to come closer to each other, to get to know each other. That's why, unfortunately, in our own town, we have private, restricted clubs. Not that I want to go to their clubs, trust me. But the idea that we do our own thing, you do your own thing, and you're not welcome here, that only fosters suspicion and hatred and dislike for the other. The Torah says the key word is Vayigash. We have to come closer to each other. We have to respect our differences. We're not one big melting pot that we all become the same. We're unique. Every creed, every color, every race, every religion, every individual is different. You have to respect our differences. But at the same time, you have to be close, because if we're not close, we're all left out in the cold like those porcupines. And the best analogy would be the Havdalah candle. The law is when you make Havdalah Saturday night, you need a multi-braided wick. But when you light it, all the flames come together into one combined light. And the idea is every wick is unique. Every soul, every individual is one of a kind. And nobody should try to force another person to be one way or another. Everyone should have the right to express their own individuality. But collectively, we have to come together and form one great light as families, as communities, as a society. And that's a wonderful way to go into the secular new year of 2020, to have the vision, the 2020 vision of seeing and respecting the dignity of others, at the same time working together for the greater good of our combined light, the light of the Jewish people, and ultimately the light of all of humanity.